video and showed the track's down in like a valley, so all of the water that's running down is going to sit where the track is. There's a lot of parking down there. All the vendors and stuff like that are going to be down there. So he did a little video, and it's just soaking wet. It rained a lot today. It's supposed to rain even more tomorrow.
Overnight. It's supposed to be all right tomorrow, but it's supposed to be.
So into Saturday also?
Tonight into tomorrow. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So he made the decision to cancel the race. They're going to work on getting a rain date so that they can reschedule everything, but it's just not announced yet.
It's going to be a little while, but that's one of the races. So, like, with the cost of everything nowadays, you don't have to zoom in too close.
I want them to be able to hear you.
Oh, with the cost of stuff like that nowadays, we don't have intention of traveling real far with altered intentions. It's just not justifiable, and it's not really completely our style and everything like that. So it takes a lot of sacrifices to do this stuff. And this was one of the races that I was like, hey, okay, we'll make the trip. We'll go up there. It's going to be quite a bit of couple pretty pennies in fuel and stuff like that to go up there. But it's a hell of an event. It's one of my favorite events of the year. I've been to 2 previous War in the Woods. I think they're on 5 now. I think this is their 5th one, but I've been to 2 of them, and it's a killer event. It's an awesome atmosphere. It's different. It's different than any other race we've been to, and it makes it a little bit difficult for the social media stuff and the YouTube videos and stuff like that, simply because it's a party atmosphere. And when I say that, like, there's music going on and there's action, and it's a very exciting event. But it's one of those things, one of the last events out there that I feel like where it's something that you have to, like, physically be there to experience to get a real justification for, like, what that place is and the atmosphere that it presents. It's kind of like the early days of KD Dragway or something like that. Oh, it had the 30 and stuff like that. And, like,
yeah. Yep.
But War in the Woods trumps that, in my opinion. It's just it's a different atmosphere. It's a whole bunch of, you get little kids. I mean, the last two times I've been there, I had some little kids coming in the trailer and helping out, getting tools and stuff like that. And it's just like, it's a free-for-all. It's a really family atmosphere. And don't get me wrong, people are having fun and stuff like that. And there's definitely, you get some partiers and everything. But
last time we were there, Rex found another school bus, and he
Yeah.
was hanging out at the school bus, and I was like, I think he's confused. Like, we were there in the purple truck, but he was hanging out with the family that had the school bus, so it was kind of
I think
cool.
it was our first trip with the purple truck, wasn't it?
I
think so.
Maybe. Yeah, it might have been the first trip we took. So,
So unfortunately,
it's a good event.
So unfortunately, that got canceled for lack of better terms. But we're gonna go back and we might do something Saturday. It is Thursday now. I'll try to put out the video Friday morning, simply because by the time we get back, get it uploaded and stuff like that, and edited, it'll be a little bit too late tonight. But I appreciate it, guys. We'll let you know what the next one is. But for now, we're probably gonna stay within like 3 or 4 hours of a trip right now, simply because there's a fair amount of racing close by, and the cost and stuff like that to travel right now is just it's a killer.
It's getting worse every
worse.
day.
And
Prices just keep going up.
And although we're learning stuff off of this Kirby to utilize on the new build, it's just not a long-term car. It's just there's not as much gain.
All the pieces aren't there.
All the pieces aren't there, so like it's not the same investment. You know what I mean? Before traveling with the 33, going to different places, you know, we were getting data for that chassis and all these different tracks and stuff like that. And we're starting to get together a repertoire, but those are the investments or the what would you say? Investments? Not really investments. I guess an investment.
Yeah.
But that's the work you had to put in to come out with something that's going to be competitive and something that we could throw down with. So that's it for right now. We'll find something else to throw in this video, I think. What do you think? So guys, as you can see, the skies are pretty dark up here, but we're gonna try to make the most of the day. We got nothing but Sleepster over here. Sleepy. He's an NHRA top fuel clutch guy for like a lot of years. Then we got Lady Gangster over here, and we're working on putting up this little lift that we have borrowed to make our little workstation. So the area that we're going to be renting and using coming up soon has been delayed, I guess, for lack of better terms. Just permits and stuff like that. They're in the process of putting up the building that we're gonna be renting, but due to delays and stuff like that, it's got a big awning on it. It's like a 12-foot awning. So we're over here setting up this lift. It's a 4-post lift, and if you followed along previously, the last 2 cars I've built on just 4-post lifts, and it's very, very. It makes it easy, especially
chassis tables.
Yeah, basically movable chassis tables. So with my stomach issues and stuff like that, I can't be crawling up and down and doing all that extra stuff. So the lift makes it a whole lot easier on me. So the lift right here, we're gonna be able to set this up. And I use my digital angle finder that you've seen me use in previous videos and stuff like that. And alternate 0. So some people say I'm crazy, and that's okay. Y'all might be right. But you can build a car upside down, backwards. It doesn't really matter. As long as the motor plate is in there square to the frame rails, that whatever factory frame rails that you're using or this or that, motor plate's in there square and referenced. If you set everything up off the motor plate as far as the angles, you can build a car upside down, backwards. It don't freaking matter, because it all just has to be the same. It doesn't matter if everything's at 2 degrees laid back, because if you set it ride height and you set everything else, you set your pinion angle to that alternate 2-degree offset, everything is perfect. So like the homegrown Hustler, everything on that car was within 0.2 of 1 degree. But yeah, so we're setting up the lift here. Sleepy's helping out quite a bit, and we're getting the lift set up and indexed, and we're gonna set it all up so that we can change it. And then these lifts right here, this lift is gonna be pretty handy because it has all these little gitches here. But we could also, there's that adjustable set screw up there. I was explaining to Maddy that we could index this. So if this post is actually sitting a 1/4 inch high, we can go up there and change that threaded rod and lower it a 1/4 inch. So once we get all these, we get the runners on and stuff like that, we'll go through and we'll index the lift so it's damn near perfect. And then we'll just use the digital angle finder at an alternate 0 when we get to building the actual chassis of the car. So we'll be back here shortly. But guys, we appreciate everyone that likes and subscribes. And I'll probably put this at the end of the video of War in the Woods got canceled / delayed. So it's gonna be a little while till we're racing. Major's gonna probably run out and get some bearings locally. I think we found some. So we might be racing tomorrow somewhere, but it's a rain day today. But it's not raining underneath the shelter right here. So
It's nice.
it's breezy too out here.
Yeah, that's the thing.
We don't even have to pay for electricity for a fan. No, it's going to be a workout, all right. We're going to probably go find some big LED 8-foot lights, put them up on the stringers, and we got our big, what's it called, deal too. So, yeah, we got to go roll up the windows. So after adjusting the locks, like I explained earlier in the video, I got this thing perfect. It's 0 degrees on all 4 corners, and then when it's on the cables itself, it's within 0.2 degrees. So 0.2 of 1 degree, I should say. So we got it all set up, and we're ready to start making the jig and modifying the lift to accept my jigs from my old lift. All right, guys. So a couple little last-minute preps here. This is going to be the second parachute cable, but it's going to attach to the same parachute handle. So they didn't have anything local, so I went and drilled and tapped this guy here, welded a bolt to it, couple nylocks on it, and this will attach to the parachute handle. Now over here, this is normally has they have different styles of latching it, but right now I'm leaving this thing fully enclosed, as you can see on the back side here. I just used a little bracket and modified it, drilled a couple holes in it, something simple. I wasn't going to spend an hour or 2 hours on making this thing, but this part, that part right there gets welded to the chassis, to the roll cage, and then this will latch it in all in place, and it locks it. As you can see, there's a half moon in the cable here. It locks it into place so that the cable will not move. the outer casing, so that when you pull this guy, it'll move and release the parachute. So guys, we have the WAC Customs drop axle right here, and I just went through, and instead of going through like the whole process, I already did one of these. So like, made sure this little scrap template right here fed on there pretty decent. Still a 2-inch WAC Customs I-beam axle that we're doing here. So I went and copied that onto some 1/8 inch steel here, because it's going to get, I'll TIG weld it directly to the axle. So that latches in there, and that right there, that piece right there, we put 2 of those. I got to make another one, and then a piece that goes across the top here, and I'll square this end up a little bit, just because when you go to weld it, it's when you get to a thinned edge there, it gets a little bit, I don't know, not as clean looking. So I square up that edge there. But this right here is for the rack mount. The rack and pinion I mount directly to the axle. Then I fab up a slip shaft, steering shaft system and stuff like that. So we could go through and have as much travel as we need with the 4-link system, and not going to bind, using the longer travel shocks. We're dealers for Viking shocks, and we have some 9.5 inch stroke shocks on there. But it could go through all that travel in there and never have any toe change. The tires will never have any issues going left or right or doing anything as they go up and down through their motion of range. So that's one of the benefits of running a drop axle. Now there's plenty of downfalls of running a drop axle, but that is one of the benefits. So I'm gonna go over there and mark this out on another piece of metal right here. And as you can see, that upper line there is on the same plane as the other one. I did that on purpose, just so when you're using a 2-inch piece of square stock or flat stock, you don't have to go through and make extra cuts. It's just a little bit of a time savings thing, being able to split that at, like, putting it at basically a 45-degree angle, so you could use that profile on both sides of the both sides, 2 pieces. With a little bit of work on the bandsaw here, and then a little work on the sander here, I got these 2 brackets pretty close. As you see, I vice grip them together. Vice gripping them together, I do that if they don't have to be super accurate. Don't get me wrong, like, these things are like perfect, right? But if they had to be like you're doing multiple of them, you could tack weld them together in multiple areas and get your profiles perfect. I'm gonna mark these out and I'm gonna drill them. But by doing that, like the last 2 cars, I didn't have all that, like, I didn't have that better equipment. So the last 2 cars, I literally would clamp them together, put them in the vise, and just use a flap wheel, my Milwaukee portable grinder with a flap wheel on it, and clean up all the edges and make them symmetrical by doing it that way. But clamping them together and using either like a just a bandsaw or sawzall or whatever you gotta do, or if you wanted to, you could go and get metal that was perfectly that thickness, and then you only have to do a couple of cuts, and they'll already be in line, because you only have to do your fish mouth and your back cut at the same angle. All right, guys, so I'm out here, and we got everything just about jigged up. We got the motor in place at the crankshaft center line that I want. It's a 12-inch crankshaft center line, which is about the lowest that will run this car with the drop axle. We'll have it adjustable just like I did with the homegrown Hustler, where my coilovers are adjustable, and we could adjust crankshaft center line without having to go into any more any other issues. That's a really cool feature about the car. We got the drop axle in here, and this is a WAC Customs 4-inch drop axle versus a 6-inch drop axle that we ran previously. Unfortunately, the dies and stuff like that are hard to come by to do the 6-inch drop axle, so we're doing a 4-inch drop axle. So therefore, I'm gonna have to put the frame rails a little bit higher up in the car this time around than I did last time, 2 inches to be exact, so I could get the car down to the ride height that I want. On the homegrown Hustler, we were able to run that crankshaft down to 10.5 inches. So in all actuality, I probably only had to lift up the frame rails about a 1/2 inch higher than where I did it before, as far as setting the height of where the position of the coilovers are mounted on the frame rail. So that's just gonna have to come up a little bit higher. The frame rail, the ride height will have to come up slightly higher for that. But as you can see, these are the jigs from the homegrown Hustler that I built in my garage. Now we're doing it outside. Doo-doo! It's a nice day out though. I got my centering hole here. I don't know if you could see it overly well, but I got the centering hole there, and the front axle is in there. I just made that jig up, and it just with a couple hose clamps, you strap it down there, so that makes it nice and easy. I don't have my kingpin angle set just yet, but I'll set that at probably about an 8-degree layback. And with the 4-bar setup, you could change it all the way down to 12 to up to about 4 degrees of a layback, and that gives you your that'd be caster, camber, whatever the hell it is. And then let's see here. We got the motor, like I said, up at the right height, and we got the rear end. It's not bolted down yet, but it's at the proper factory wheelbase. So that's gonna be the car right there. So it's gonna be a pretty bad mamma jamma. We got a fair amount of work left to do on it. As you can tell, it's gonna probably be at least a week or two. No, I'm just joking. We're gonna have some time into this deal, but it's gonna be a pretty bad hot rod. So there's just a little bit of an update to put at the end of this video. Guys, I'd like everyone that likes and subscribes to the channel. I'm gonna get this video out. I'm gonna work on it tonight-ish. And we'll get it out. Put it out probably Monday afternoon or something like that. So guys, I appreciate everyone that follows along. Y'all mean a lot to us. To all the mothers out there, happy Mother's Day. I guess I'll be a day late. Oops. Sorry, day late, dollar short. What else is new here at Hustlin' Horsepower? Guys, I appreciate it. Hang on, and we'll see you War in the Woods. It's gonna be rescheduled for this weekend. So yeah, we spent about 6-7 hours in the we spent about 6-7 hours in the truck driving to go nowhere, and then we were gonna race Saturday locally, but that rained out, and then we were gonna head somewhere else, but the weather wasn't looking great out there, so it's like it's not worth driving 3-4 hours away to potentially get rained out. And then there was a free entry race today up in Roxborough today on Sunday, but the weather wasn't looking good out there, and it's just like I can't justify driving 3.5 hours out of the way to potentially not be able to get to race. So we are headed to Southern Indiana, Brown County Dragway for War in the Woods. I believe Big Chief is still coming. I believe a lot of the other big name guys are still going to be there. It's going to be a hell of a show, and we're excited for that one. That's going to be cool. Got to give a quick shout out to Cody Sullivan, Chris Fleming, and Jay Basler for offering to bring up some bearings to War in the Woods. And then finally to Wilkins Racing Engines for selling us some bearings locally. We appreciate it, guys. Any little bit helps on keeping this journey alive, and we appreciate you guys offering to bring some bearings to the track for us, and to Wilkins for selling us some bearings locally so we didn't have to ship them in. We appreciate it, guys.